Hello and welcome back to the channel. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my recent video about my challenges with the 690. Thank you for all of the comments. That was probably one of the most commented video on my channel ever. So thank you for that. Now, on one hand, I was relieved that I am not the only one with those issues. But on the other hand, I'm sorry to hear that you have the same problems with your 690s in many cases. So starting from the errors in the software, so what I understand from your comments is that you also see the same kind of flow of errors very often, starting with low voltage, then with traction control error, and then even some other sensors like low oil pressure or the temperature sensor in the airbox. It also gives some errors. So there are plenty of those. Some of you say that even when you're riding on the highway, you see that the voltage drops from those 14 volts to 0 for a moment, and it is triggering all of those errors. So that is probably related to some kind of faulty sensor, or maybe grounding of the battery. So that is definitely something to be tested and verified by the dealers and by the KTM. Actually, I am right now on my way to my dealer, because another comment said that there is a new software version for the 690 available already. My bike is running the software version 705, and I am on my way to the dealer now to check if any new updates are available, also to read all of those errors that I had. Interestingly, I have to admit that after I took a pretty long ride on Saturday, that was probably 150 kilometers, I never had any errors since then, even if the battery voltage was dropping down to 11.7 before the engine starts. Since I recorded the video, I never had any errors anymore. So that's one. Number two, the PowerParts. Yes, I hear you. You all are in the same place. You all hear that the crash bars will be delivered sometime in May, maybe. I even stopped believing that they will be delivered in May, because first they were supposed to be here in December, then February, now May. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that they may be available sometimes in July or August. But you have pointed to something even more interesting, that this is not only a problem with PowerParts, this is also a problem with like regular parts that you need to order for your motorcycles for them to run in the first place. So for example, there was one comment saying that that person is waiting since last summer for some kind of a sensor that was not working properly. And the problem number three, which is the homologation papers, this is even a stranger story, because there was a guy from Austria saying that he also received it just for one person. But if you pick up your motorcycle today in Poland, and that could be the 701 or 690, the homologation is for two people already. So another comment says that the KTM headquarters knows about this issue and this problem, and I have asked already my dealer for the updated homologation papers for my bike, but I still haven't received it. Alright, so the software has been updated. There were some flashing errors along the way, so here's a picture of how the dash looks like when the flash is incomplete. But the fun fact is that I have now the new version of software. It used to be 705. Now it is 7.5, but my odometer got reset to 0 and I had over 2,000 kilometers. So they asked me to take a ride because they said there might be a check engine error showing up, because the ECU probably has a different number of kilometers. Interestingly, not everything was cleared from the memory as my odometer. So, for example, the connectivity to my helmet and my phone is still here. So, very strange. Is there anything new about the software now? I don't see anything new. Okay, so I went to the dealer once again. They connected the motorcycle to the diagnostic unit. There were no errors. They sent some system statuses to the cloud for the KTM to see the situation. I don't know how it works. They just basically said they need to make some kind of a digital protocol of this situation, and they did it. They uploaded this to my account with my name on it. So the folks at the dealership told me that I might be expecting a check engine error anytime soon, because there are two places where the total distance traveled by this motorcycle is stored in. One is the ECU and the other one is the dash. So, and those numbers should match, obviously. If they do not match, and that might be my case going forward, I might get a check engine error. They told me not to worry because it doesn't influence the bike performance or engine performance, but it might unlock an option for them to change the total distance traveled by this motorcycle manually with their diagnostic tool. At the moment, they were not able to do it. There is an interesting information in the diagnostic tool that the odometer can only be pushed forward, not backwards, and that makes sense because, reversing the total distance travel is not even legal, at least here in Poland. They said they will need to call KTM headquarters at some point for them to correct the total distance traveled by this motorcycle in the cloud service, and with the next kind of connection to the diagnostic tool, they will sum up my previous total distance travel and the ones that I will show up with, which is, very funny. It was super surprising for the service team at the KTM dealership. They never seen a situation like this before, when the odometer was also reset back to zero. When they connected the diagnostic tool today, the errors were in each of the 4 segments or where the errors could have been. So in electronics, in braking system, interestingly, in engine, and something else I don't even remember. So they were surprised with how many errors this motorcycle has produced since my last visit, like maybe 2 weeks ago. So lucky for me, the bike remembers that I have the rally pack enabled already, so no more information that this is a demo mode. But I am not able to change the shift lights because it says I need to have 1000 kilometers before that option will be enabled. I don't know if that is a placebo effect, or maybe the ECU flashing has changed something in the fueling, but it seems like this bike is now even more dynamic than it was like 2 hours ago. Is it possible? Or is it a placebo effect after the software was updated and ECU was flashed? Very interesting sensation. But it feels like a mad bike now. And it was mad before, but not like that. Please let me know if you also notice something different about how the engine performs post the update to a 7.5. No update on the crash bars. Still, May is the Delivery time, no update on the documents in regards to is this a one-seater or two-seater motorcycle. All right, so that would be it for today's video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Please spread the information about those challenges since you also have them. We need to influence KTM to fix those issues as soon as possible. All right, thank you, bye.